Meta's AI shakeup sparks questions about pay wars and its superintelligence strategy. Sam Altman reveals why OpenAI released its open source model. Hugging Face launches an AI that's as simple as a spreadsheet. Hidden AI costs are leading to a backlash. And Geoffrey Hinton calls for a maternal AI, not knowing that an Edmonton startup is already building one. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Meta is reshuffling its artificial intelligence division for the fourth time in 6 months. According to the New York Times, Mark Zuckerberg has split Meta's superintelligence labs into 4 new groups. There's TBD Lab for large language models like Llama, FAIR for fundamental research, Products and Applied Research for consumer tools, and MSL Infra to manage the massive and costly data center build-out. The changes come after months of aggressive recruiting. Zuckerberg offered some of the biggest pay packages in the industry to bring in outside researchers. But apparently that's created some friction inside Meta, where long-standing staff now earn far less than new hires. Some teams have already threatened to walk out, raising the risk that the very talent Meta wanted to build upon could end up leaving. And while this is aimed at speeding up research, frequent reorganizations more often slow companies down rather than speed them up. So while Zuckerberg talks about pushing towards superintelligence, it's not clear how dividing the lab into 4 groups actually accelerates that goal. FAIR, for example, will continue its long-term research, but from the reports we've seen, it isn't directly leading the charge towards superintelligence systems. Zuckerberg is betting big. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being poured into data systems and infrastructure. But money and constant change can't replace stability and focus. For now, the unanswered question is whether Meta's push for superintelligence is being fueled or hindered by its strategy. In a surprising pivot earlier this month, OpenAI released 2 open-weight language models for the first time since GPT-2. And apparently, it's all about keeping the U.S. competitive in the race for OpenAI dominance. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said one major reason for the move was clear. If we didn't do it, the world was going to be built on Chinese open-source models. The 2 releases, GPT-OSS 120B and GPT-OSS 20B, hit the scene on August 5th, marking the first open-weight models from OpenAI since 2019. The larger model is for high-end machines, while the smaller one can run on everyday desktops and laptops. And if you didn't notice the release of these open-source models, you can be forgiven for that, given that GPT-5 created both interest and controversy that seemed to bury this story. Now that the dust has settled on GPT-5, some questions are being raised. OpenAI says these models aren't just symbolic. They're designed to spark innovation by letting researchers inspect, run, and fine-tune them on their own devices, a sharp contrast to the closed models like GPT-3, 4, and even 5. Altman even framed the release as part of OpenAI's mission to ensure AGI benefits all humanity, providing an open AI stack created in the United States based on democratic values and available for free to all. Altman is hoping that this will counterbalance China's progress in open AI, especially after DeepSeek and other Chinese ventures released competitive open-source and open-weight models. Analysts are saying that the U.S. risks ceding influence over AI standards if American labs don't up their openness game. But the shift raises questions. OpenAI hasn't said how it plans to monetize these freely available models, especially when its bread and butter remains premium API access and enterprise subscriptions. And while the open-weight move might broaden experimentation, it's unclear whether this will meaningfully bolster the path towards AGI or simply slow OpenAI's control over its tech ecosystem. OpenAI's decision to go open may be a strategic shot across the bow of China's open AI giants, but whether it translates into long-term leadership will depend on how well the company balances openness, monetization, and innovation. Hugging Face just launched AI Sheets, a free open-source toolkit that puts large language models directly into something as easy as a spreadsheet. and requires no coding. With AI Sheets, you can type a prompt into a cell and instantly generate, clean, or classify data using models like Llama 3 or some of the Chinese open models, Qwen or Kimi. It works right in the browser or locally for those who want more control. Each column can run a different model, letting you compare results side by side, fine-tune prompts, or even have one model judge another's output. On one hand, this could dramatically democratize data analytics. Teachers, researchers, and small businesses who don't have a data science team could suddenly experiment with AI at scale. It lowers the barrier in a way that makes advanced tools accessible to anyone who can use a spreadsheet. But there is a flip side. By removing those barriers, it also exposes risks. Many users won't have the training to spot errors or biases in their outputs. They may not know how to handle bad data or how to protect sensitive information fed into a model. Hugging Face makes it easy to accelerate development, but without safeguards, it could also accelerate mistakes and create some real security vulnerabilities. So while AI Sheets is a powerful step towards democratizing AI, it raises a tough question. Are we empowering users, or are we giving them a tool that could cause some real damage if it was misused? AI tools often pitch you a flat monthly fee, but underneath, particularly for development models, API calls and hidden usage metrics can turn that simple cost into a financial gut punch. AI tools, particularly those used in development, lure users with predictable flat subscription pricing, but the reality is every prompt generation or API interaction can accrue additional charges, and those meters are often opaque. For small businesses and development teams, this unpredictability can cause some serious budget headaches. Take AWS's new tool, Kiro, as a recent example. At launch, AWS teased plans starting at $19 with 1,000 monthly interactions. But developers quickly realized the model was far more complicated. Kiro actually tracks vibe and spec requests, chat messages versus task executions, with prices ranging from 4 cents to 20 cents each. A single task can kick off multiple requests, draining quotas shockingly quickly. Some developers estimated costs ballooning from a few $100s to several $1,000s per month for heavier use. Now, we've seen this pattern before. Replic's simple subscription ends up hitting some developers with bills in the thousands once activity surcharges are factored in. These surprises cut hardest for startups and solo developers, those without deep pockets or sophisticated usage monitoring. The real issue isn't just the pricing, it's the lack of transparency and controls. Vendors need to provide clear tools to allow developers to estimate real-world costs before they start using the tool, and perhaps even hard caps or alerts to stop runaway bills caused by user error, bad prompts, or even errant processes. Without those safeguards, the promise of an affordable AI can quickly turn into an expensive shock. For businesses, the question isn't just what the monthly fee is. It's whether the vendor will help keep the meter from spinning out of control. And finally, Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI, said this month that the best way to keep super intelligent machines from controlling humans may be to give them maternal instincts. What Hinton didn't know was that a Canadian startup has been working on that for a few years. At a recent conference, Hinton argued that a future AI should be designed with maternal qualities, empathy, nurturing, and protection to safeguard humanity. He said he hadn't seen anyone taking that path, but in Edmonton, an indigenous-led company called Wasigun Kisewetisiwin has been developing what it calls matriarchal AI since 2021. Its founder and CEO, Shani Gwynn, described the system as AI with heart, an approach designed to emphasize fairness, accountability, and inclusivity. The company works with an elders advisory circle to embed indigenous values into their platform, aiming to avoid systemic bias and reduce digital harm for more than 5.5 million indigenous people across Canada and the U.S. The AI itself is a language assistant, built in partnership with the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute. It's designed to help governments, educators, and businesses plan and communicate with a people-first perspective. It's been getting some recognition. In 2024, MIT Solve named the company one of its top 30 solvers out of more than 2,200 applicants. A prototype is expected to reach minimum viable product by the end of 2025. Edmonton's matriarchal AI offers a different vision. For all the talk about AI arms races, superintelligence, and the dangers they present, we may be turning to our indigenous peoples and their matriarchal AI to offer a different vision, one where maternal instincts, not raw power, guide the future of machine intelligence. And that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please share the show with others. Give us a like or comment on your favorite podcast app or site. We're found everywhere: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. We're back on Alexa speakers and Google Smart Speakers. We love to hear from you. You can reach me at technewsday.ca or .com. Just go to the Contact Us page. And while you're there, if you'd like to support what we're doing, please go to the Donate tab and consider contributing the cost of a cup of coffee a month to support the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a comment under the video, but your contributions would be gratefully accepted as well. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.